what happened a few days ago, the 70th anniversary of Israel, the rebuilding of Israel, and the fact that we moved the embassy to Jerusalem. What do you think about that?
This is what maybe people in the rush of media controversy don't understand. We had president after president. Let's go back to Harry Truman. 3 men have been compared to Cyrus by Jewish people. 3 men.
Really?
I have Harry Truman's the biography of his life. And when Harry Truman, when the UN was about to partition Palestine to form Israel, there were a lot of people in the U.S. who said, don't do it, because you're going to cause a war with the Arabs. It's going to go on and on. General Marshall was dead set against it. Harry Truman, however, had in World War I been in a foxhole with a Jewish man. So they talked to each other, and he said to Harry, what do you want to do when the war's over? He said, I think I'll be president one day. That's what Bill Clinton said at age 15, and it happened, you know. And then he asked the Jewish man, what do you want to do? He said, well, I'm going to go in business in New York in the garment district. And so both of them went their way, ended up doing that. Well, when Truman was not sure what to do, Jewish rabbis were wanting meetings with him, and Truman was just if you said do it, he said no. If you said don't do it, he said I will. He was just one of those characters, you know. And so this Jewish man came to him and told him that he would be Cyrus. He would be the Cyrus. He would go in history as Cyrus if he would allow the United States to vote and approve the partitioning of what we now know would be Israel. Well, he did. The problem was a state had never been formed before. They didn't know what to name it. They were going to name it Judea. They were going to name it Judah. They were going to name it Zion, the state of Zion. And one of the rabbis that knew Truman, got a hold of him and said, you have to name it the Bible name, because it's prophecy. It has to be called Israel. So Truman acted, and this is all written. Truman acted on the fact of sending the word to call it Israel based on that. Of course, Ben-Gurion and others had already determined that was the name of it, but we had to agree with it at the State Department. And in the book of his life, it says he beat the table and the desk and screamed, I am Cyrus. This is Truman.
Wow.
No.
I am Cyrus. Okay? He was losing the election and was going to win. And if you've ever seen the famous paper, I think it says Dewey wins the election.
Yes, I've seen that.
And they voted it, and Truman won the election. It was the biggest, news, let's say it this way. News has been making mistakes for years, okay? So that just is an example of how the news media made a mistake. Now, the second man was Reagan. And the reason Reagan was considered like a Cyrus is through GORBACHEV and through the Pope. They worked together under the table to bring the Iron Curtain down. And when the Iron Curtain came down, all the Jewish, not all, but many of the Jewish people from Poland and Russia started being released. Now, you won't see in writing Reagan is like a Cyrus, but among the people who were involved with that. And just so you'll know, because some people may not know, Cyrus was one of the kings. You had Darius the Mede and Cyrus, and you had these kings of Media and Persia that overthrew the Babylonians. And when they came into Babylon after 70 years and overthrew Babylon, Cyrus is the one that signed the decree that the Jews could go back to Israel, could go back to Jerusalem as their capital, and could rebuild their temple. So this is why we're getting into the Cyrus comparison, because he was an historical figure in prophecy. The third person, and this is really interesting, that they are all over it. They're minting coins. Now, it's not official currency, but they're minting coins in Israel that they sell to people out of silver that has a picture of Trump and Cyrus, and it's the Cyrus Trump coin. They call him Cyrus in Israel.
Yes.
Now, can I tell you something really strange? And you can probably go to the internet and find these comparisons. Barack Obama went to Egypt and saw a painting of a pharaoh and screamed out, oh my Lord, he looks like me. This pharaoh, I promise you, looked exactly like Barack Obama. Then Bill Clinton, and this is not a great comparison, but Bill Clinton, if you will find the statues of Nero, the nose and the forehead, Nero looked like Bill Clinton. And if you take the beard off of Cyrus, which some folks have tried to do because he looks like a side view of Donald Trump. Oh, no, it's really funny. And I don't want to overdo that, and that's not some great prophetic revelation.